Section 5.6 is solving radical expressions and exponents. So we've got a little bit of a warm up here. Looking at this, kind of a refresher from stuff from 5.5. On the left side we have x minus 7, and on the right side we have negative 12 over x. We're asked to solve for x. So what I'm going to suggest is we take both sides and multiply by x. On the left side, we'll just take x times x, giving us x squared. We'll have x times negative 7, giving us negative 7x. On the right side, the negative 12 over x times x, the x's are going to cancel out. We're left with just negative 12. To keep solving for x, let's get everything on the same side. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides. And I'm just going to move this over here. So when we add it to the left side, we have x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. From here, we can use our handy factoring skills. So we have two numbers, x minus 4 and x minus 3, because 4 times 3 will give us that 12, and 4 plus negative 3 will give us that negative 7 when we multiply those two by the x's. From here, we can just say x equals positive 4 and x equals 3, using that zero product property. Remember, if that step feels uncomfortable to you, just take each of those pieces, set them equal to 0, and solve for x. The square root of 64. Well, let's write that out. So we're asking ourselves, what times itself gives us 64? In that case, just 8. For the last one, we've got x to the 5th equals 32. The best way to figure that out is to take the 5th root on both sides. So we use that radical symbol. It's not the square root symbol, but it's the 5th or the radical symbol. And we put that little number in there, that 5, we call it an index. Now on the left side, the x to the 5th power and the 5th root cancel each other out. We're left just x. And x, the 5th root of 32 is 2, because 2 to the 5th equals 32. So we're really looking for what to the 5th power gives us 32. For this lesson, our goal for the day is to simply simplify rational equations and exponents. So let's get into it. Some strategies, some tools that we have here. Just like we can break apart and simplify square roots, we can also do that for any roots. So for example, if you're asked to do the third root of 16, so the product property of roots, you're going to be able to take a square root or a third root or whatever root and break it up. So for example, the third root of 16, well 16 is not a cubic number, so we're going to break it down to the third root of 8 times the third root of 2, because we can take the third root of 8, giving us 2. For the quotient property of roots, when you're taking any root of a fraction of a quotient, you can take the roots of the numerator and denominator separately. So this one happens to be a square root of 25 over 16, so we can take the square root of 25 and the square root of 16 separately, giving us 5 over 4. So just in general, the nth root of a times b, you can split it up into the nth root of just the a times the nth root of b. And then same thing for the rational, or for the rational expression, for the quotient. The nth root of a over b is the nth root of just a divided by the nth root of just b. So taking that into consideration, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a couple examples here just to break things up. We're asked to simplify and assume that all variables are positive. So we've got the 4th root of 81 x to the 12th. So we're going to break this up into the 4th root of 81 times the 4th root of x, not 12, x to the 12th. Now the 4th root of 81, we've got to ask ourselves what to the 4th power equals 81. That's just 3. And then 4th root of x to the 12th, that is x to the 3rd power. That's because, again, x to the 12th, we could write as x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd. Or in other words, x to the 3rd to the 4th. So it's like we kind of cancel out that 4. We're going to talk about some shortcuts for that in a little bit. Try out the second one on your own. The 4th root of 16x to the 8th. So pause the video and give it a shot. And you've clearly done it, and we're back. So we've got the 4th root of 16, taking that separately, and then times the 4th root of x to the 8th. In this case, the 4th root of 16 is just 2, because 2 to the 4th equals 16. And the 4th root of x to the 8th is x squared. Again, that's because x squared to the 4th equals x to the 8th. So those are our two answers for this.